Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Scootsy16 with the Elite Discord Tournament. And if you are still reeling after that last game between the Dirt Dogs and the Lockhorns, you are not alone. Still can't stop thinking about what happened in that game. And if you missed it, make sure that you go back and check it out. We are on game four, which is um, the last two teams that we have not seen play yet. That is the Sewer Sneaks, which is an AI team that was drafted by the AI, and the Buzzwings, which is actually the team that I drafted. So you may hear a little bit of bias coming out of today's game, but it is against the AI, so I think it's excusable in this instance. So we're going to jump right into this one and see how this game plays out. And I, of course, have faith in the Buzzwings to be able to take this one. But let's go ahead and take a look at the roster that the Buzzwings are actually going to be leading with during this game. Actually, let's start with the Sewer Sneaks. They're going to be the away team for this game, and in the leadoff spot is Jamie Cook. Jamie Cook was the as I look through the lineup here, Jamie Cook, where are you? Right at the top. I had to scroll up there for a second. Jamie Cook was the number one pick for the Sewer Sneaks. With that power versus right-hander trait and little hack, you will see that the scholarly traits have been maxed out for this team, and they made some really interesting decisions throughout this entire draft, which was really interesting. They also maxed out the competitive traits too, so you'll see those where they pop up. So Jamie Cook, really great player all around, a bit of a subpar fielder, but everything else is in a really good spot. Not the biggest power, but has that trait to kind of offset that as well. And for us, our starting pitcher is a righty, so we will see that power versus right-handers activated at least for the starter. Next, we have Genevieve Holloway. Genevieve was drafted as the 22nd pick in this draft. Will be playing in the DH role, exclusively a hitter with really great contact. Also has power versus right-handers activated. Has that minimum buff on the base rounder, so slightly quicker around the bases while she's running, but we'll see what she's able to do today. Next, we see Trevor Wiggins. Trevor Wiggins is pretty solid, pretty much above average across the board. This was the third pick for the Sewer Sneaks. He has Dive Wizard, so a trait that benefits him over at second base. Has a slightly above average arm, but really hanging on that speed for him to cover up the middle. Next is Linfield Harden. Linfield was the eighth pick for the Sneaks. And as you can see, as a first baseman, has really, really great hitting traits with a maxed out tough out, which will maximize his contact when he is in a two strike count. Power is really strong, has contact versus left-hander, which won't be activated, but boosts his contact even more. So really hard to get the ball past him. He's not very fast. He's a pretty solid fielder, has a good arm, but won't use it too much over there at first base. Moving on, we see their right fielder in the 5 spot. That's Raina Barnstormer. Raina was drafted in the 10th round, is a off-speed hitter, but doesn't get much of a boost because of that lack of attention to the discipline traits for the Sneaks. She's a pretty solid player, but below average when it comes to fielding, and just average when it comes to speed and arm. Above average when it comes to contact and power. So that's Reina in the 5th spot. Next is Reeve Watts. Reeve was the 5th pick for the Sneaks. Has everything going for him except for that power. He has good speed, but gets a debuff from bad jumps. So we don't likely see him stealing many bases today. He's going to be playing at his secondary position of shortstop. So they opted to have him start in that space, the center fielder starting at short, as opposed to their two shortstops that are going to be sitting on the bench today. Timothy Dubs in the 7th spot in left field. Timothy was drafted in the 13th round. Has no traits, pretty solid contact, good speed, good arm. Lack of fielding and lack of power, which is kind of consistent for this team so far. In the eight spot, we have Rylan Reed. So Rylan, really great player. It just seems like she gets the balls exactly where you want them to be. However, sometimes she's missing them with that whiffer trait. But really, the only thing that she's not bringing to the table is speed, and that's still above average. So, a really great player to see in that eight spot for the Sewer Sneaks, and she'll be positioned at third base today. And in the ninth spot is I'm sorry, and Reed was drafted in the 11th round, so she dropped pretty far. I think primarily because of that whiffer trait, but they were able to really focus on the competitive traits, so this won't affect her very much. We probably won't see that negatively impact her during this game or this tournament. And then lastly is Wyatt Chang, their catcher. Right, Wyatt was drafted all the way down in the 19th round, and is not even their first catcher drafted. He has stimulated, so that might kick in the bottom of the fourth inning. But you'll see that he's doesn't really bring anything too special to the table. He's a good fielder, but doesn't have a great arm. So maybe the Buzzwings can take advantage of that for anyone that might be a little bit quicker on their team. And their starting pitcher is Warden Wang. This was the second pick for the Sneaks during this draft, and a really great player who's getting their traits maximized here. Maximum workhorse, maximum elite curveball, has incredible velocity, incredible junk, above average accuracy, four pitch pitcher with one fastball and three off speed pitches. And you'll see that he is a lefty. So we'll see what the Buzzwings can do to face him. But if they can't get to him early, that he might be the one holding down this game all day long. And for the Buzzwings, we start with Zeke Green, who will be playing in right field today. And Zeke was drafted all the way down in the 16th round for the Buzzwings. When I saw Zeke, I thought that is a lot of contact, and that whiffer trait does not scare me because I prioritized the competitive traits, so that is getting the minimum debuff from there. He's a great fielder, or he's a good fielder with a great arm in right field. He's very fast, and that power is just above average. So I think with that contact being debuffed by whiffer, we're not going to be too concerned, and I'd like to see him get on base and see if he can wreak havoc, especially with Chang not being that strong of a catcher with an okay arm behind the plate. Next is Liam Undermeyer. Liam was our first pick in the draft, and I was really excited to take him. There was a pitcher I was tempted to take, but Liam kind of gives me the vibe of like Mike Trout light. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit here, but all about speed. He's utility outfielder, but he's going to be covering center field. Really great fielding. Not the greatest arm. That's probably his weakest trait. And he has above average power. So he's going to be relying on making good contact. And with that tough out trait, we don't see him striking out too much, but we'll see what ends up happening as he faces off against Warden Wang. Next is Kayla Carter. Kayla was drafted in the 15th round, so she chopped down pretty far before we were able to take her off the board. Really great power hitter with good contact and speed. She's playing first base, so we just need her to be serviceable in fielding and don't have to worry about that arm. She has off-speed hitter at tier 2. She has little hack at tier 2, which is kind of complementing her power and contact. So even when she sees that contact decrease or the power decrease, it won't be too much, and we'll see that contact go up to offset that. So we'll see if that plays a factor here, which was definitely something I was considering. Next, our DH today is going to be Pork Nelson. He has that RBI hero trait, which I love. It's maxed out. I did lean into my spirited traits. And Pork Nelson as our DH, really great contact, solid power. If we see him in a position with runners in scoring position, he will be able to capitalize with that RBI hero trait. And he's not playing the field, so we just see that really slow speed being an impact if he gets on the bases. And Pork was drafted in the 8th round. Really saw that RBI hero in that 99 contact, and I had to pounce. Next, you see Tessa North. Tessa is going to be our third baseman. Tessa was drafted in the, where are you at, Tessa? In the 12th round, as our primary third baseman. She's a really great hitter. That base rounder trait will offset some of that speed when she's on the bases, and she is just an average fielder. So I'm hoping that she can just hold down the fort. She doesn't have to be perfect. She doesn't have to be amazing, but I just need her to hold her own over there at third base. At the sixth spot is Keegan Howell. Keegan, I was pretty interested in as a shortstop. He's our fourth pick. He has power versus right-handers, and Warden is. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to back out there. Warden is a lefty, so we will not get to see that power versus right-hander activated unless we are able to get into the bullpen. He also has maxed out sprinter trait, so out of the box, he's flying down the line, and they are going to have to get the ball over to first really quick if they're going to get him out. He has good speed and contact, but he's known for his fielding. His arm is weaker than I would have liked, but he was still a really great fielder that I'd like to have over there at shortstop. Going forward in the seventh spot is Jillian Fisher. Jillian was very interesting to me again because of that contact trait. She was drafted in the 10th round. She has noodle arm. She will be playing second base. I did everything I could to try and minimize the impact of that noodle arm, but it still could come into play. She's a really good fielder and she has a really good arm at second base. So even if noodle arm is activated, hopefully it's very rare and it doesn't have too much of an impact on this game. She's pretty slow, but we see Sprinter is helping her out of the box, and she has really great contact and solid power to offset that as well. So moving into the eighth spot, we have Kamari Butler. Kamari is kind of playing a platoon role with some of our other outfielders, but Kamari was drafted in the 11th round. Liked him for his ability to make contact. As you could kind of see, I focused on the contact traits. I think that against all of these amazing pitchers, we just need our contact to be as high as possible. Doesn't guarantee that they're going to hit the ball, but it gives you a higher chance of being able to. He's got a really great arm in left field. He's slightly above average with speed, but that contact coupled with his two traits should help him to be very effective out there and hold his own in left field. And to round out the batting order, you will see I have our catcher, Godfried Shavewell, who is actually a starting pitcher with the two-way catcher trait. So was really excited to see him come up. He was actually our second pick in this entire draft. He's not our best pitcher, but with that two-way trait, I couldn't pass it up. So he has really solid speed. He has above average batting traits. He's a good fielder, and he has a cannon of an arm behind the plate. So that's going to be really beneficial to us. And I am very curious to see how he plays behind the plate. He'll be in the 9th spot. And then we have our number one ace, Mila Levy, who was actually drafted in the 7th round. My second starting pitcher behind Shavewell. But I am so in love with what Mila can do here. She has maxed out rally stopper to couple with her amazing accuracy and junk. She's below or about average velocity, but she only has that four-seam fastball, and she has 3 off-speed pitches coupled with that elite slider. So I'm excited to see what she can do today. And that is the lineup for both teams. So let's go ahead and play ball. The Buzzwings play at the Big Sky Ballpark because you got to let us fly. And we leaned into our offense, power and contact being maxed out, and everything else being above average. The Sewer Sneaks really leaned into their pitching, and they have really good contact as well. So we'll see what wins out today between the Sewer Sneaks pitching and the Buzzwings batting. So they get the chance to bat first, and you see that power versus right-hander is activated here. It's a slight buff to the power attribute for Jamie Cook. And we have our best pitcher against their best batter, and he puts a charge into that one, but way early, and that's an upper deck foul ball, a loud foul. And he's down 1-2, so Little Hack is activated here. And he swings at that one, just barely makes contact. 1-2 count once again. And we're at a pretty high pressure situation right out of the gate. Grounder over to third, and we saw that low arm for the third baseman, and she was able to still make the play. And Tessa North already holding down the fort there. in at the third base spot, so we have one out. And that ball gets blasted into right field, but we see them camped under it, and Zeke is able to make that catch for out number 2, about 3 feet in front of the warning track there in right field. And that corner does have a bit of a shading issue, so that ball might be hard to see as it comes in and out of the shade. Looks like that's going to be the case in the entire outfield, as that one flies out, and Undermeyer is there camped under it easily for out number 3. So Mila has a good first inning. She's able to go 1, 2, 3. And let's see if our offense, which we really put a focus into our contact, can play up against this incredible pitcher in Warden Wang. The lefty is going to be a daunting task to get past in this game, and he throws a really weird little inside strike there. Zeke swings at that one, and he's down 1 and 2 in the count here. And Whiffer does activate, but as you see, minimum debuff, and it doesn't make much of a difference as he blasts that one right past Warden's face for a base hit up the middle. So we do have a little action already as Zeke gets on base. He's got some solid speed. We have a decent arm behind the plate, but nothing to write home about. And Undermeyer comes up, our number 1 pick in this draft. And he blasts that one. Is it going to get... It gets all the way to the wall on the fly, and Liam has to stay there at first as it bounces right back to the center fielder. But we have something cooking here with Zeke able to move it all the way to third base. So we have runners on the corners, and Kayla Carter comes up. Now, Warden has 3 off speed out of the 4 pitches that he has. Little Hack is activated. There's this, oh my gosh. Oh, it was a failed hit and run, and Liam was able to still reach first base, or steal a base on Chang behind the plate. Unfortunately, we see that they struck out. Kayla Carter strikes out swinging for out number 1, and here comes Pork Nelson with RBI Hero activated, as we talked about, and that ball gets blasted, and it looks like it's going to hang up right in front of the warning track, but both runners are going to advance, and it looks like Undermeyer hangs at second, and we are able to put a run across here in the first inning against Warden Wang. So with 2 outs, Tessa North comes up. Great hitter. Really great speed there at second base. I don't know if we're going to try and steal third, but at least with a runner in scoring position, if Tessa North can get something into the outfield, that ball grounds out to second. Wiggins tosses over to first for out number 3. So a little bit of a shaky inning for Warden Wang as he allows 2 hits and 1 run scores on a sacrifice fly from Pork Nelson in the first inning. So a bit of a cushion already for Mila Levy. We'll see if she can capitalize on that. 0-2 already to Linfield Harden, but Tough Out does activate here, max boosted, so it maximizes his contact rate. Fighting off a few pitches, takes a ball inside, doesn't chase on that one. And that ball pops up, and Carter calls off everyone else, and she's able to camp under that one easy for out number 1 right next to the first base bag. So here comes Raina Barnstormer. Does have off-speed hitter, but we're not too worried about it, and it looks like she was way ahead of that one, ready for the fastball. Ground out to Tessa North, tosses over to Carter for out number 2. So we keep moving down the line, and here comes number 6 hitter Reeve Watts, who's playing shortstop today, even as a primary center fielder. So they have that flexibility, which is probably something they feel good about. Quickly down 0-2, Levy. Hits that one right to Howell, tosses it over to first, and out number 3. So 6 up and 6 down for Mila Levy in the second inning. So let's see if we can keep what we were doing going. As Keegan Howell comes up, got the 6-3 ground out to end the inning in the top half. And he immediately hits that ball right back up the middle. Warden Wing can't get to it in time, and Sprinter makes that really easy for Howell to get to first base. Now, he is a bit slower, so we don't really see him making too much. I guess he's a lot faster than I expected. So we might see him moving on the bases a little bit, but don't expect it to happen. And here comes Jillian Fisher. And the runner goes, another hit and run. So this Buzzwings management is really interested in getting the ball or getting the base runners going. And unfortunately, Fisher did not swing at that one, and Chang was able to throw out. Oh my God. Fisher blasts that one to the deepest part of dead center field for a home run. And so the Buzzwings get their first home run from Jillian Fisher, a 449-foot bomb. And that thing flew out of here. And we extend our lead to 2-0 against Warden Wang, who is now tense. So here comes Kamari Butler, who has Little Hack activated after the first pitch. Takes ball one, and Little Hack goes away, and it will be activated here after this foul. 1-2 count. And blasts that one, and there's a low. Oh, unfortunately, Barnstormer's able to get there and reach up and make that catch. Now, that wall in right field is pretty low, so if that ball gets a little bit more underneath it, it could have gotten out of here. So here comes the pitcher, Godfried Shavewell, the 9th hitter in the order for the Buzzwings. And he's not the best hitter that we have on the team, but he can hold his own. Unfortunately, he does strike out on 3 pitches there. And Warden Wang, after giving up a solo shot from Jillian Fisher, is able to get out of the inning. So we head to the top of the third. There's 7, 8, 9 hitters, starting with Timothy Dubbs. Good contact and good speed. Not much of a power hitter, and that ball's going to get down in center field for the first base hit for the Sewer Sneaks. And Levy was locked in, and that drops her back down to a neutral mojo. And here comes Rylan Reed with a runner on first base, the first runner that they've allowed in this game so far, the Buzzwings. And Levy actually has to work out of the stretch for the first time today. And that ball just barely tips off the end of the bat, and Tessa North is able to catch that one third base to third base right there. Third baseman to third baseman. And here comes their 9-hitter, Wyatt Chang. Again, not known for his hitting capabilities, really not known for much outside of that stimulated trait, which gets a boost towards the end of the game. And so with a 2-1 count, 1 out, that ball pops up. And Tessa's right under that one. She has gotten a lot of action there at third base, which happy to see, like we talked about, her holding her own. Hopefully that continues. And here comes the wraparound as we get back to Jamie Cook at the top of the order. Again, Jamie is their number 1 draft pick, so they really are counting on him to lead the way for this team in that leadoff spot. And swings through strike 2, looking real foolish on that one inside. Little Hack is activated, and it comes into play there as that ball gets blasted right past Fisher. And Zeke Green's able to get to that one, and they send the runner. Carter tries to throw it home, but it's not nearly in time. And the double with 1 runner scoring from first base puts this game at 2-1. And the Sneaks have something cooking here, with a runner on second base with really good speed with 2 outs. And that ball gets blasted. Is it going to get out of here? Of course it is. And the Sewer Sneaks, don't count them out because they'll sneak up on you. And that ball goes to dead center field, 445 feet. And Holloway gets her first home run. It's a 2-run shot for the Sewer Sneaks to take the lead, going up 3-2. And Genevieve Holloway, the 22nd pick, and actually the Miss Irrelevant of this draft, it was the last pick in the entire draft, is able to make a huge impact in this game. She's not irrelevant here. So Mila is able to get that out there, but the Buzzwings are going to have to do a little bit of damage control. On 3 hits, they allow 3 runs in that inning alone, and the Buzzwings have to do a little bit of catching up, starting with Zeke Green, who is 1 for 1 with a base hit in the first inning. And Warden Wang is tense, but he's got to be feeling good about coming back out to the mound with a lead here in the bottom of the third. 2-1 count for Green. pops that one up, and it's going to get out of play, so count goes 2-2. Whiffer does get activated, as we saw last time. That did not play a factor, but it does here, as he does swing through that one for out number 1 on the strikeout. So Liam also went 1-for-1 in the first inning, coming up to the plate, and Warden is still tense. Gets the swinging strike there. Ball does not fall into the zone, and that ball stays low. 3-1 count. And Liam swings at that one, but goes foul. So now with tough out activated, 3-2 count with 1 out. And that ball, it's Warden Wang. I mean, come on. We all know what we're thinking here. Warden Wang gets blasted in the wing, but unfortunately, all that does is mess with his mojo as he is now rattled. And that also boosts the mojo of Liam Undermeyer. And what an interesting set of circumstances we find ourselves in. And that ball does just barely stay up for the right fielder to make that catch. It was an off-speed pitch, and Kayla Carter gave it a ride, but it was just a little too hard. And we now have 2 outs with Pork Nelson up, and they throw a pitch out thinking that Undermeyer is going to go. That ball grounds out to Wiggins, toss over to first, and they get the third out. So even though they don't score any runs, we make progress on whittling down Wang's stamina, and we popped him one. He might be coughing up a ball after that inning. He's probably puking over there in the dugout. Yet we do see him holding the bucket, so I don't know if he did yet, but he's definitely feeling it. But he was able to keep his composure at least enough to get out of that inning. And so here comes Mila Levy, who is trying to get through a pretty impressive Sneaks lineup, and she's able to get the strikeout there for out number 1. So we move down to the 5 spot with Raina Barnstormer coming up. She's 0-for-1 today. Again, off-speed hitter. Won't play much of a factor here. She could still do something with it, but not as threatening without that attention put to it. So grounds out to Tessa North, tosses over to first for out number 2. And we head over to Reeve Watts, who, again, went 0-for-1 in his first at-bat. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. 0-for-1 in his first at-bat, which was pretty much the case for most of these players the first go-around. And that one catches the corner, and Watts is not happy about it, but Levy's able to pop off of the mound there after going 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th. So we head into the bottom of the 4th, and if Stimulated got activated for Chang, we will see that. If we see a runner, we'll notice his arm getting a boost. So we won't find out until he either comes up to the plate or we see a runner reach base here. And that ball gets blasted, but it gets underneath it, and camped under it is Dubs for the out. And we head over to Keegan Howell, who got a base hit in his first at-bat. And Wang, with that rattled mojo, has his accuracy pretty much in the tank. So that ball's just kind of leaving his hands and going wherever it wants to go. And so far, it hasn't negatively impacted him too much, as he's been able to keep it together. And he gets the strikeout there on a pitch that just kind of kept rising out of the zone. And it was a high strike for out number 2. Jillian Fisher comes up, and she was able to figure out Wang as she blasted a home run in her first at-bat. She's being patient here, 1-1 count. Takes ball inside and blasts that one, and we do have a short porch there in the corner in right field. If it stays fair, it might bounce off the foul pole, and it does. 2-for-2 with 2 home runs is Jillian Fisher, and I'm telling you right now, she kept dropping in the draft, and at some point I was like, nope, can't let it happen anymore. I don't care if she has noodle arm. She can hit the hell out of the ball, and she has done that just now today. So 2-for-2, 2 home runs for Jillian Fisher, having a hell of a game. And Warden Wang is just kind of struggling to get through it at this point, but he does induce a ground ball out for the third out. And now the game all tied up. Heading into the top of the fifth, the pressure is getting very extreme for both teams, and we'll see how they both respond to this. Mila up to 50 pitches on the day, and she is starting to get towards the end of her outing. As you can see, she is still in neutral mojo as she gets the ground ball from Howell over to first, out number one. If we can see Mila get locked in, we could probably see her go for a bit of a resurgence here in the second half of this game. But right now she is starting to feel. She's been really reaching back and putting them out over the plate, but can she get through this inning as well? With 1-2 count and Rylan Reed's whiffer activated, she does swing through that one, and Mila is feeling it as she gets the strikeout there. And as you can see, Wyatt Chang did not get stimulated activated for this game, and so they decide they're going to pull him and bring in Elijah Kelly. And Elijah Kelly, we'll see if I can do some research here, was actually gets the base hit to left field. Elijah was drafted as the 21st pick. So you saw those statistics, those attributes for Elijah, and crazy that he was able to be pulled in at that point in time. And Mila comes out, Wuri Habibi comes in and gets the first pitch swinging for a fly ball to center field, and Undermeyer gets that for out number 3. So Mila's day is done, but she had a hell of a game. She did have a rough third inning, but only gave up 4 hits altogether for those 3 runs. And the Buzzwings heading into the bottom of the 5th are wanting to try and support her, so they're going to come in and they're going to replace. Wow, we got a lot of action happening here as Landon Stone comes in. We see a new pitcher. We see the new catcher in Marvin Dominguez, who was the first catcher they drafted. Landon Stone, a guy that we drafted in the 5th round, actually, is all about the hitting. He has fastball hitter, so if Victorious, the new pitcher, puts that one anywhere close, that buzzed right by his face. Still trying to recover from all of those changes, but Zeke Green comes up at the top of the order. Landon Stone does have some good speed over there at first base with these max pressure situation, and Zeke could really be beneficial if he can come up with a big hit here. Victor Theodoris does have an elite changeup that's maxed out. He also has a minimum debuff on crossed up, so we likely won't see that come into play here. Zeke has activated whiffer, and so we will see if he's able to fight through this one. 2-2 count with no outs. And he swings at that one, pulls it just over there. Watts is able to dive for it, but not in time as Zeke is fast enough to leg out that infield hit. So great play from Watts. The natural center fielder makes a good play at short, but now we have 2 men on. We have Liam Undermeyer, who with maximum pressure has his locked-in mojo, boosting him up even more. And let's see if this is an opening opportunity for the Buzzwings to crank this one open. And Tough Out gets activated. Takes ball 2, 2-2 count. And that ball gets blasted. Are we going to see that one stay on the line? And it does not. It goes foul. So 2-2 still, and Liam trying to scare Theodoris. I apologize for the dog. And Liam gets the ground ball. They're able to get the out over at first base, and because of that, Undermeyer's mojo drops from locked in down to neutral. But it is a fielder's choice as Watts ground over to shortstop, over to second for out number 1, and then that ball gets popped up as Kayla Carter pops up to the catcher for out number 2. And here comes Pork Nelson. This is what we have him in this game for. RBI hero maxed out. Can he do it again? He's 0 for 1 with a RBI on a sacrifice fly, but he can't do that this time. And he actually pops up right behind the mound. And Theodoris has to be incredibly thankful to the aggressive batters of the Buzzwings, as we had something going there, and it all kind of fell apart with 1 out and runners on the corners. We were not able to convert that into runs. So Landon Stone comes out and Chevelle Friendly comes in. Chevelle was our last pick. And actually, while she has a good arm, I brought her in for the off-speed hitter and the RBI hero traits that we leaned into. And so hopefully she can just hold her own behind the plate. And if she gets a chance to bat, we'll see how she does with that. Worry Habibi was our first... sorry about the dog. She's spazzing out right now. Worry Habibi was our first relief pitcher that we drafted. Really great traits. She was drafted in the 6th inning, and she's been able to hold this Sewer Sneaks team at bay with a ground ball to second base there for out number 2. And that ball gets lined into center field. Undermeyer misplays it, but the runner is too slow to be able to capitalize, and it is just a base hit with 2 outs. The Sewer Sneaks in the top of the 6th here are trying to do something to scrounge up a run in any way they can. And the runner was going, and that looked like a hit-and-run situation with 2 strikes. Barnstormer's just trying to foul them off and stay alive, and swings through that one for strike 3. So when Mila Levy came out, Habibi came in and did absolutely everything that she was asked to do, only gave up 1 hit in her appearance, and now we head to the bottom of the 6th. If you watched the game the last game that we posted, you saw that it actually did go to extras. A little spoiler alert there, but we'll see if we can avoid going into extras for this one. And here comes Tessa swinging through strike 3 for the first out. Keegan Howell comes in, and he's tense. I'm not sure when he became tense, but we will call on Furtive Wood to come in this situation. A phenomenal name, and he takes the first pitch right back up the middle for a base hit. And Furtive has some really solid speed, and we'll take a look at that catcher behind the plate and what that arm looks like and see if this is something we can capitalize on. And Theodoris comes out, and Ethan Sormore comes in with an elite 2-seam fastball against a locked-in Jillian Fisher, who has 2 for 2 with 2 home runs today. She swings through first strike, takes ball 1, so now 3-1 count. She fouls that one off. Full count here, runner on first with some speed. We'll see if Jillian can capitalize here. Takes ball 4, so they really wanted to pitch around her. And her day goes 2 for 2 with 2 home runs and a walk so far. And here comes Kamari Butler, who now gets to see contact versus right-handers activated against Sormore. Sormore all about the velocity and the accuracy. And that ball gets lined straight to first base, and they tried to double up, but they weren't able to. And we have 2 runners on, and we see, oh gosh, here comes Chevelle Friendly coming up with RBI Hero activated. And can the last pick in the draft be the clutch batter that we need in this moment? 2 strikes, swings through strike 3, and we are heading to extras, folks. And Chevelle is not looking very friendly with the frustration that he's taking out on that bat right now. So we are getting our second extra innings game. And just as a reminder, all these extra innings will start with a runner on first base or on second base. And that ball grounds out to second base. Noodle arm is activated, but does not make a difference there. However, the runner is able to advance to third on that ground out. So with 1 out, there is a runner in at third base for Timothy Dubbs. Takes strike 1. He's 1 for 2 with a single today. Now down 0-2. And that ball pops up. And Zeke is under it, and the runner is not going to go. His arm is too strong, and they do not want to run into out number 3 at home plate. So they're going to rely on Rylan Reed to come up in this situation and see if they can score the runner from third with 2 outs. And blast that one. Rylan Reed, is that going to get out of here? It does. And oh my goodness, in the top of the 7th, the Sewer Sneaks sneak out another 2-run shot for the lead, and it is now 5-3. And Habibi, who has had a really great game so far, maybe stayed in a little longer than we should have left her in, and that backfires on the Buzzwings, and she stays in, and Dominguez, the not known for hitting catcher, comes up and lines out on the first pitch to left field for out number 3. So Buzzwings have some work to do if they're going to try and win this game. They're going to need the offense to kick in, and we get the top of the order for this one. And Zeke Green, 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. We need that to continue here. He fouls that one, a long foul down the left field line, and Whiffer gets activated once again. It's been activated in every at-bat for him today. 2-2 count. Ethan Sormore still going. He takes ball 3 down low. Full count now. And he swings through strike 3 for out number 1. And he's frustrated. He feels like he let the team down. But he's passing it over to Liam Undermeyer, the captain. 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. What can he do? He swings through strike 1 up in the zone, pops that one up, and that's going to sit there for Wiggins to catch right outside the infield grass for out number 2. Kayla Carter comes up 0 for 3 today. She's made some really solid contact, but has not been able to find any green grass. And with a runner on second base, we need her to come up clutch here for the Buzzwings to take this game. Little Hack gets activated, and it's now deactivated. And pulls that one foul, so now 1-2. Little Hack gets activated once again. And she grounds that one over to Wiggins. Easy toss to first for out number 3. And so the Sewer Sneaks squeeze out a victory against the Buzzwings, who, outside of one inning, really dominated this game, and the Sewer Sneaks just were not going to give up. And in the 7th inning, they were able to capitalize for the victory. So the Sneaks score 5 runs on 6 hits, no earned runs. The Buzzwings only 3 runs on 9 hits and 0 errors as well. I said earned runs. I'm just kind of frustrated as the Buzzwings owner. I knew we had the ability to do better. I knew we were able to hold that to win that game, and we just let it out of our hands. So, reviewing the lineups, we see Holloway, who was their miss irrelevant, came up big with a home run, a 2-run shot. We see that Cook was able to get a hit. Harden was able to get a hit. Dubs was able to get a hit. There in the 7th inning, Rylan Reed came up huge with her 2-run shot. And then of course the pinch hit Kelly base hit as well. So the Sewer Sneaks fought through that one, were able to pull out a victory. On the other side, the Buzzwings made a lot of noise, but they weren't able to follow through. So Zeke Green, 2 for 4 today with 2 hits. He also struck out twice, kind of seeing that whiffer trait does come into play and does impact him. Liam Undermeyer, the captain, 2 for 4 today. When we needed him most, he was unfortunately unable to come through. Kayla Carter in that 3 spot did nothing for us. Pork Nelson did get an RBI sacrifice fly in the first inning, but wasn't able to do too much else, and we really saw an opportunity for him to use his RBI hero later in the game, and he wasn't able to follow through. North went 0 for 3 today. Howell had 1 base hit. Not sure why he got tense. If anyone caught that, please let me know in the comments. Furtive One came in with a base hit. Jillian Fisher, really the player of the game today. She went 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, both solo shots, and she also walked in her last at-bat. Butler went 0 for 3. Shavewell went 0 for 1. Stone came in and got a hit, and then Friendly, when we really needed him in the bottom of the 6th, with that RBI hero trade activated, just could not pull through. So this Buzzwings left some opportunities on the table, but for the Sneaks, Warden Wang went 4 innings. That workhorse trait really kicked in for him. He did get hit right in the wing, and he was able to fight through that for a few extra innings there, giving up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts and 2 home runs. Both were the ones from Jillian Fisher. Theodoris, 1 and a 1/3 inning, 3 hits, 1 strikeout, and then Sormore gets the win, 1 and 2/3 innings, giving up a walk and 2 strikeouts, getting the win. Levy did everything she could. 4 and 2/3 innings pitched. She gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and 1 of those home runs was given up by her. Habibi, I think they left her in too long. She gets the loss. 2 and a third innings, 2 hits given up. 1 was the 2-run shot, a walk or no walks given up, 2 strikeouts, and that home run. She gets the loss. So really unfortunate for the Buzzwings. We do see Jillian Fisher getting the player of the game with her 2 home runs. Unfortunately, no one was on base when she was up to bat, and we weren't able to capitalize there. Genevieve Holloway, Miss Irrelevant, comes up in the number 2 spot with a 1-for-3 day, a home run and 2 RBIs, and Rylan Reed, the other 1-for-3 with 2 RBIs on the home run as well. So that's the last of the 8 teams that we wanted to see. And as we continue this tournament, we will be wrapping back around to the Thumpers versus the Overdogs in their series. Will the Thumpers be able to continue their hot streak with their offense, or will the Overdogs be able to fight back for a few more runs than they scored last time to even this series at 1 apiece? Look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to be able to continue to follow along with this tournament, which, as you can see, has been so exciting. All 4 of these games have been really fun to watch, to commentate, and to follow along with all of you. So look forward to seeing you next time. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.